15 years ago, Breck Eisner tried to do the impossible by remaking a George A. Romero film called The Crazies. This movie came out in 2010, and the original film came out in 1973 by the great George A. Romero, the master of zombie horror, and just an overall iconic horror icon. So Breck Eisner's The Crazies, how does it hold up in this 2025 year that I'm finally watching it for the very first time? Gearing up for the Pinos, yes, but at the same time, I've always been curious about this iconic, interesting, and overlooked film, quite honestly. So, my name is Adam with Almost Sideways. In today's conversation, we are diving into 2010's The Crazies, starring Timothy Olyphant and also Radha Mitchell, Joe Anderson, and Danielle Panabaker. Really excited to dive into this movie. But if you've seen this one, unlike myself, let me know in the comments section down below what you guys thought about 2010's The Crazies, and how does it compare to 1973's Romero classic, The Crazies, as well. I would love to hear all that things down in the comments section. And if this is your first time to the channel, I talk all things movies, so if you love talking movies just as much as I do, think about liking, sharing, and subscribing here on YouTube to join the conversation of all things movies. Without further ado, let's dive into this. A rural town in Iowa starts going a little cuckoo in the head. I love the iconic opening scene, and I think that's what I've seen the most from this movie, from YouTube clips. The baseball game, start of, springtime's here. It's the first baseball game. It's the kickoff of the summer, as Timothy Olyphant said. And you see this guy carrying a shotgun walking across a baseball field, and of course Olyphant, who plays Sheriff David, and his deputy, played by Joe Anderson, is Russell. They storm the field and try to figure out what's going on. And of course, one thing comes to another, and the sheriff has to put the shotgun wielding guy down in front of the entire town, pretty much. And that's just one of the things that starts seeming a little off. And it feels kind of like the opening of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where these people start acting a little different. They're not quite themselves. However, this is a more zombie type of case. There's some kind of virus in the town that's happening, and people are starting to act a little crazy. And of course, that first shot is the most iconic shot of the entire film, because I do remember seeing that quite frequently. So my mind was playing tricks on me. Have I seen this movie? Have I not seen this movie? And no, I have not seen this movie up until today. And it's that iconic opening scene. It's one of the better 2010 horror scenes that you'll find. And it's just kind of a fun nature thing happening on a baseball field, and this random guy with a shotgun coming up. And the movie actually is really surprisingly done well, and I kind of really enjoyed it. Timothy Olyphant is normally plays the douchebag characters, but I feel like in this movie he's really good as this lead character of David. He doesn't know what's going on, but he's kind of the hero as well, trying to figure out his town. He's supposed to protect this town, but people are just seeming off everywhere, and they don't really have answers. And all of a sudden the military gets involved, and they start quarantining everybody, so it's a chaotic nature. And that's where your heart starts pounding a little bit, because there is some really claustrophobic moments where people are getting separated from their families. Kids are literally getting ripped out of their mother's arms in this quarantine zone that so happens to be a school. And people, if you had fevers, you would be quarantined off into this room, and you would get the people that are kind of healthy would be bussed out of the town, because they're about to destroy all the people that are infested. And of course, Sheriff David, his wife just got quarantined over here and got pulled away from him, so he's going back into the town to be the hero and try to save his wife and try to get her out as well. And of course, you just don't really know what's going on, and it really felt like a Resident Evil video game to me, which is pretty. I couldn't help get that out of my head. I'm like, are we watching Olyphant be Leon from Resident Evil 2, or even Resident Evil 4, going into this this town and try to save his wife there? It felt very escort mission type of stuff, but really done effectively. I think there's some really good scares there too that may not have the most grotesque kills you've seen in kind of like this sub-virus horror scene, but there was some really fun moments to be had here, especially where you had these like hillbillies who are just going around killing people and throwing them the dead bodies in the back of the truck, and come to find out there's have some kind of virus raged energy as well, and there's like a big fight off in this parking garage, and then there's a big old like nuclear explosions going off at the very end of the movie. It's really fun stuff. My favorite scene in the movie has to be at this car wash. You know, they're trying to Olyphant and his crew, his wife, and this other teenage girl that they find who's Becca, who is played by Danielle Panabaker, and I think she's not, you know, I don't recognize that actress at all, but she's kind of plays that high school teenager really well. She just lost the love of her life in a very traumatic way in the movie as well. So they're trying to hide from this helicopter. They go into this car wash, and they think they see something, but they may not. And then their car starts going through the car wash, gets activated, and they get attacked by all these, zombie-filled people in this car wash. And there's a death that happens like really out of the blue that was really kind of was pretty awesome. And then also Joe Anderson, who plays Russell here. I couldn't picture where I've seen him from, but apparently he was from the Twilight franchise, as well as Across the Universe and The Gray and The Ruin. So he's been in some stuff, but it's just not a recognizable face. But he does pretty well in this movie as this deputy who has his moments of just being not a great guy, but also has a redemption arc in there that plays really well. Kind of reminds me, like, this is what Olyphant would have been if he wasn't the main lead of the film. He would be the deputy character, kind of be the douchebag character that redeems himself at the very end. That's what it kind of reminded. But like, and I feel like Olyphant's like totally kind of Nick Cage in this movie. Like, if this was a Cage performance, like that's pretty spot on. I think he could be a hero in this like zombie filled universe, and I would like to see a Nick Cage zombie movie. Honestly, we've seen it kind of in Mandy, but this would be kind of an interesting universe to put Cage in. There's some really fun moments here, and I think I'm really at a good 3-star movie experience there, and something that I would definitely watch again. It's not the most like groundbreaking kind of zombie virus thing I've ever seen, but it's certainly entertaining, and I've certainly seen a lot worse films, and definitely remakes from George A. Romero. I've seen a lot worse remakes from his filmography too, and one thing this has made me want to do is I didn't quite realize before recording that this was based off a Romero work. I don't know how I didn't know that until I was kind of like preparing to talk about the film. So right after I get done here, I need to go and watch that 1973 film as well, just to, you know, pay homage to the great George A. Romero. Like I said, I really dug the Crazies, and I think this is a really just solid entry. 2010's like time frame there wasn't a ton of great horror movies out there. There was some good ones, but nothing that we're really talking about too much now. I think right now we're really getting inundated with some really great horror franchises and characters and just movies in general. So finding a solid movie from 2010, this may be one of my favorite horror movies of that 2010 year. And so, very slept-on film, The Crazies. So, what do you guys think about this movie? Am I way off on this one? I enjoyed it. It's not like the most perfect thing, and I would love to see some more like blood, guts, and everything in between. But there were some really effective moments in this movie that really had me intense, and I couldn't help but draw a comparison to Resident Evil video games, because it just definitely felt like they were walking through these abandoned towns. And they would get chased by different creatures, and there was like these mini bosses with these hillbillies who in this truck that was killing people. So it felt really Resident Evil to me, and I really dug that element. So that's my thoughts, takes, and opinions on 2010's The Crazies. I would love to hear your guys' takes in the comments section down below. Let me know what you guys thought about the film. And again, my name is Adam from Almost Sideways. Until next time, I will keep talking movies with you all. See you later.